Hey guys, welcome to another rebuild video. Today we'll be fixing this light action L541 rear derailleur. Make sure you have the right one, check on the back, and make sure it says L541. Some tools you're going to need for this are pliers, a pick, an Allen set, a nut driver or a wrench, and a screwdriver. You can also use some pliers to just help you turn it if it's really seized. Like it. So now the easy part is done, the pulleys are out, you can now service the springs in here. I really recommend doing it, especially if it's super dirty and rusty like this. It will just help the entire thing function a lot smoother. So first thing we're going to do here is just pull back the cage, exposing that screw right there. Get your screwdriver and unscrew. So you can't actually service the spring, so just take the bolt out for now and we'll use it later for some lube. Now onto the pinnacle spring, all you do is just grab your pick and take out this little clip here. Now you want to pull this metal washer down so it goes over and it's going to spring out. And as you see, along with it came the spring. And then you just push this bolt out the other side. So this is as far the derailleur comes apart. As you see, we have a lot of rust here. So I'm going to be dropping this in a bucket of metal rescue. As for all the other parts, just make sure you clean them off and you make sure your pulleys aren't worn. In this case, they are. And I'm going to be replacing them. You see this one doesn't even have a tooth. This one is just completely bald. So yeah, these are getting replaced. So after the metal rescue, all these parts are now rust free and we can go ahead and clean them. In my case, I'm using this Ultrasonic cleaner. All I'm using is just water and dish soap. You could also use some other degreasers if you don't have one of these. But yeah, just make sure you get everything nice and clean, especially the pulleys. So now everything is clean and I'm just going to be doing a little bit of polishing here. I have some chrome wax called Quick-Glo and I have some aluminum wax called Autosol just to polish up this derailleur. I would recommend doing the chrome especially just to prevent it from rusting. Aluminum is optional though, it will make it look better. We're just going to take it here and apply some to the parallelogram and the cage. I also did this to the bolt. It kind of just shines it up a little bit better, as you can see. Alright, so after everything is all polished and clean, it's now time to assemble it. And another thing you're going to need is grease. Alright, so first order of business is the spring and the pinnacle. So what you want to do is just grease up this area right here and just some on the bolt. And then you want to take your seal, put it on here, make sure the groove is up, and then just slide in the bolt. Alright, now putting in the spring, you just want to have the short end go in and the long end sticking out. Just seat it in there. Now grab your other seal and slide it on. Alright, now get the metal washer all the way down and then you're going to rotate this part all the way around there, which is probably the hardest task. So I like using some pliers and clamping it onto the B-limit screw part to get this washer around over here. As you can see, helps a lot with just leverage in general. Alright, so once you do get that washer in that position, you want to grab your clip and just slide it on. Like that. Alright, so now that the hardest part of the build is done, you can now relax. We're just going to put on the pulleys here. put on that bolt. Alright, so for the pulley closest to the parallelogram, as you see here, this is the guide pulley. It has a metal ring in the pulley itself. You want to put a tiny bit of grease there. Make sure you don't over grease it, and then just slide in the second bushing, and you want to grease the inside of that too. Once you got that greased up, main thing is just don't over grease it. It's better to just run it dry than over grease it. But you just want some kind of substance, or there's WD-40 grease, fill wood, lube, just whatever, to make a nice smooth pulley. And same thing for the other side, just put on the pulley, make sure it spins nice and smooth, and now time to put on the cage. Alright, so after that, make sure you tighten down both of the pulley bolts nice and snug. And also, if you did take out that screw earlier, you want to either put some grease or WD-40 in there, just something to keep the spring nice and lubricated, and then just put the screw back in. Alright, so just make sure you assemble all the other parts, the barrel adjuster, the clamp bolt, and the B-limit screw, and after that it's all done. Just make sure all the pulley bolts are tight, and you've got yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur.
So remember guys, if you have an old derailleur like this, don't replace it, just rebuild it. Don't be afraid to use these older parts. So subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.